Hello, welcome back to Jay's Fish, and today we're going over 5 tips for keeping angelfish for beginners. Angelfish. You can find these guys at almost any fish store. If you're a beginner, they're really marketed towards you. They're a relatively cheap fish. You can find even at box chains, and they come in so many different variants. These are my koi angels. Beautiful pair. This one, I believe, does have fish bloat, which I am treating with not green beans, peas, to maybe help with that fish bloat. But I am going to be trying, if the peas don't work, I am going to be trying salt. But she's eating fine, she's doing good, it's just, she floats sometimes. Let's get into the 5 tips for keeping angelfish. Tip 1 for keeping the angelfish is creating a varied diet for them. They are omnivores, meaning they eat meat and plants, especially in the wild. They eat smaller insects, they eat smaller fish, whatever they can get on, but they also pick on the algae, they pick on whatever grows as well on the rocks. So creating a good diet for them with algae wafers or creating some sort of plant base and then supplementing them with some sort of protein does the fish really good, and it creates these beautiful fish to look at. Tip number 2 is tank size, or more importantly, tank height. So these guys, when you get sold them, they're small. They can fit in your 20 gallon, they can fit in your 10 gallon for now. But as you can see, these guys are fully grown and these guys are big. They're about as big as my hand. And tank height matters more than tank length, meaning these guys are more tall than long. So if you want to see that beautiful fin, the fins on your fish, get something taller rather than shorter. Tip number 3 is tank flow. These guys don't really like high flow, even medium flow. These guys don't really care for. Something nice and slow so they can glide across your tank. These guys will appreciate it a lot more. So getting a sponge filter works wonders versus a canister filter. I have my canister filter powered down literally almost all the way. I'm cycling the canister filter and the sponge just so I have media to go to my other fish tanks and I can swap around. Tip number 4 is being careful with the Tankmates. As you can see, the male, he's been chasing some of the swordtails around. Well, it's on purpose as this is a breeding tank, but if you have them in your community tank, you want to be careful with what type of fish you have them with, as keeping them with guppies, the guppies will fin nip the angelfish. Keeping them with swordtails don't fin nip as much, as I've noticed. There isn't too much nipping of the fins on my angelfish, but the swordtails are acting as diddler fish, so my male and female don't take the aggression out on each other. Being careful with tank mates, something that is not going to be too small as well, as these fish are big, so whatever fits in their mouth, they'll try to eat. Nothing too small like neon tetras, cardinal tetras, they're going to be too small, as they're going to be pretty much snacks for these angelfish once they get bigger. So be mindful with what type of fish you keep. Tip number 5 is keep these guys with plants. Something long, flowy, and stemmy like the Vallisneria, any type of those, they do really well. I have a bunch of jungle Vallisneria planted around the tank. I'm just waiting for them to grow in. But once they do grow in, they create the runners. There's going to be tons of reeds like this plastic plant all around the tank for them. But also another plant that I highly suggest is keeping them with Amazon swords. So Amazon swords are super cool, easy beginner fish aquarium plant. You can find them at any box store, any fish store. They're relatively easy to care for. They just need a little bit of nutrients in the substrate. But if you have fish and they're pooping, the Amazon sword will do fine. It'll melt away a little bit, but it'll do fine. But the reason why I highly suggest keeping the Amazon sword with these fish is it creates a natural spawning site for them, meaning it'll be a perfect place for your female and male angelfish to spawn on it. I have these spawning cones on them as I might decide to pull the eggs, so there's always that possibility. But you can always snip the leaf that the eggs are on and hatch them artificially. But definitely Amazon swords, or definitely anything that has big leaves or something that grows long and stemmy, or leafy, if that's a word. And those are 5 easy beginner tips for keeping angelfish. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Hope you have a good one.